Hello everybody, welcome to part 41 of Let's Play Pokemon White. Gosh, it's been a little while since I recorded, and I apologize in advance for this, but the first part of this Let's Play is going to be a lot of talking. Reason being that a lot of interesting stuff happened off-screen between this and part 40. Now, one of those was that, remember how Charlotte had a sassy nature when... I went and checked out Charlotte, and she had a sassy nature. Now, a sassy nature will raise her special defense, but will also lower speed, which is really not good for a Joltik. So I actually released her and caught another Joltik. It was another female one, so I still got to name her Charlotte, but she had a quiet nature. That'll still lower her speed, but it also raised her special attack. And she also had a nature that had a characteristic that accompanied her high special attack, so she has really good special attack at least. And Joltik basically is a special sweeper, which will especially become apparent once it evolves to Galvantula. But so I have another Joltik, and she's still Charlotte, so hopefully nobody will notice that. It's kind of like the situation I had at the very beginning of the game, where I had to pick a different Oshawott because I had the unfortunate situation where I had to restart the game because it wouldn't save. But that's over. But I don't have the new Charlotte with me, actually, because she's currently in the daycare. And also, another thing that happened off-screen was that when I was exploring around Chargestone Cave a bit to train some of the Pokemon I just caught, I found another rare Pokemon that was in Chargestone Cave. And that is this electric Pokemon called Tynamo. So if I could show you, I don't have that Tynamo in my party right now because I also have it in the daycare. Tynamo was an electric-type Pokemon, and it has the Levitate ability, meaning it'll be immune to ground attacks, which is really good for an electric-type Pokemon. But if I can look at Tynamo here, so this is Tynamo. I have to show you the bottom screen too. So this thing is a Tynamo. It's a very rare Pokemon that can be found in Chargestone Cave, but I happened to catch one. I just wandered in there, and there was a Tynamo, so I caught one. And the nickname I gave him was, this was a male Tynamo, so I gave him the nickname Coulomb. And Coulomb is the unit of electric charge, and it's also the name of this famous physicist or something. I don't know that much about him, but I named him Coulomb, and Coulomb is currently sitting in the daycare because the only attacks he knows are Tackle, Thunder Wave, Spark, and Charge Beam. And those are the only attacks that he's going to learn until level 39 when he evolves. And meanwhile, he has really sucky stats, especially sucky defenses. And there's really no good place to train any electric Pokemon until you gain the ability to use Surf. So that's why I have him in the daycare, and Charlotte's in there as well. But another interesting thing that happened was, if I can exit the Pokedex, another interesting thing that happened is, before I put Coulomb in the daycare, I had Flick in there. I had Flick in the daycare for a while. So for a while I had both Flick and Charlotte in the daycare, and they're both bug Pokemon, and Charlotte is male, and Flick is male, Charlotte is female. That means they were able to make a few eggs. So I actually got some eggs when I was in the daycare, and if I show you the PC, then they actually had a couple of babies already. So they're in my second box. So I have this baby Joltik. Now the weird thing about these Pokemon games is that each baby Pokemon starts off at level 1, which kind of makes sense, but in the earliest Pokemon games they started off at level 5. So I caught a couple of these, and I don't really like the Unnerve ability on the Joltik because Compound Eyes is the better ability for a Joltik to have, but I still kind of like the fact that Charlotte has higher special attack than most, so I think I'm gonna keep her unless my third baby hatches into something. That's right, they made 3 eggs, and the last egg is actually still in my party. So let's check out this egg. So, sounds could be heard coming from inside. It will hatch soon. So, that means it only requires a few more steps to hatch. So the first thing I'm going to do in this episode is actually wander around and see if this Joltik will hatch. Now, there are a couple of Pokemon that have an ability that can make eggs hatch faster, and I think one of them is Magma Armor and the other is Flame Body. But I think there is only one Pokemon in Unova that has those abilities, and we won't be able to encounter it until later on, once we gain the ability to use Surf. And I'll encounter that Pokemon once we get there, but we can't even access that Pokemon yet, so I'm basically stuck just trying to wander around and see if this Joltik will hatch. Now, once this Joltik does hatch, there actually is something else I want to do, so maybe I'll just do it really quick, and then I'll worry about this Joltik hatching later. If I go back to this PC, I could do this, but... And the thing that I'm about to do here actually involves Cappuccino, the Minchino that I have. Now, I was training her for a bit, and she got to level 31, and she learned Wake Up Slap, as you can see. Now, that in combination with Sing is really awesome, because she can use Sing to put foes to sleep, and then she can use Wake Up Slap to wake them up, and Wake Up Slap will have double power on a Pokemon that's asleep. However, I'm not sure if the Technician ability she has will still activate if Wake Up Slap was powered. So instead of having 60 base damage, it would have 120. And the limit for the Technician ability is 60 base damage, but still, that's still a lot of damage. But I don't know if I'm even going to keep Sing on Cappuccino, because because Sing is not really the most accurate move in the world. And one thing I think right now that she learned Wake Up Slap, the only thing that I think she's all ready to evolve. There really are no more attacks that I really want her to learn, so if I could find my Shiny Stone, then I'm actually going to evolve her. Yeah, there's my Shiny Stone right here. That's what Minchino evolves with, so let's use a Shiny Stone on Cappuccino! Alright, Cappuccino was evolving! This is the first Pokemon that we get to evolve with a stone. There actually are more Pokemon out there that can evolve with a stone. Fluffy, for example, can evolve with a stone. But I'm actually not going to evolve Fluffy, and I'll explain that later. But now we have Cappuccino, who evolved into... Oh, that's a pretty interesting cry. So this is a Cinccino! Cinccino, the evolved form of Minchino. And it apparently has really soft fur and everything. But one thing about Cinccino, let me check out her stats for a little bit. But notice how Minchino does not have that much higher attack than special attack, but Cinccino definitely has higher attack than special attack. So it's probably not going to be a good idea to keep Swift on her. I think I'm going to put Tail Slap back on her. Because the really cool thing about these 2 to 5 hit moves on a Pokemon with Technician, especially, is that Tail Slap has 25 base damage per hit. That's per hit. So that with the Technician ability boost makes the damage more like 37. So if it does 2 hits, then that'll actually do 74 damage. So that's about 75 damage right off the bat. That's only if it does 2 hits. If it does more hits, then it does like at least 100 damage. So that's going to be really cool. And there actually are 2 more 2 to 5 hit moves that only Cinccino can learn. And where's the move tutor that I can show heart scales to? Because I want to teach Cappuccino a couple of these attacks, actually. And I'm probably not going to keep Sing on her. And I think I have like 2 or 3 heart scales, so I think I can do this safely. So one of the attacks that she learns is Bullet Seed, which is a grass attack that does 25 damage per hit. And that is actually a really good move for her to have, because it's also 100% accurate, but it won't really help much yet. I think the move that's going to help her more right now is Rock Blast, which she can also learn. But apparently she can't even learn Tail Slap now, but I'm gonna... Can she even learn Tail Slap? I guess not. Yeah. Maybe I should have taught her Tail Slap before she evolved. I guess that was kind of, me trying... I guess it was me shooting myself in the foot, but whatever, I could always restart the game and make her remember Tail Slap, so I'm also gonna teach her Rock Slide, so maybe I'll just pause the video while I do that, because I don't want to waste any more time. We're already at 8:49, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back. I actually decided not to teach Cappuccino Rock Slide yet. I want to keep Sing on her for a little while longer. First, so I can test out the Sing and Wake Up Slap combo, and second, because there are a couple of Pokemon I want to catch in Celestial Tower once we get there, so I want to make sure I have somebody that could cause a status problem. But right now, I got on my bicycle and I'm riding around Mistleton City to see if I can get this Joltik eggs to hatch. And also what I did was I flew back to Driftvale City, and remember that lady who is asking for somebody who knows a certain HM move? The one who asked for somebody who knows Thief last time? I actually, this time she wanted somebody who knew Retaliate, and Demetra knows Retaliate. So I took her over to that lady and got another heart scales, and that was really nice. I guess Oh, hey! Okay, here we go. Now the egg is hatching. So let's see what this egg hatches into. I already know what it's going to hatch into, but let's watch it hatch anyway, because watching a Pokemon hatch is so exciting! Oh my gosh, it's hatching! Yay! It's a Joltik! It's another Joltik! Not that I don't already have 3 other Joltics already, but I'm not gonna give it a nickname yet. Instead, let's check out this Joltic that we just hatched and see if it has a better nature. And okay, it's another female Joltic. So this is a modest nature. Wow, that's a really good nature for a Joltic to have. Modest is a really good nature for a Joltic to have. Oh my gosh. I think I'm actually going to train her in place of Charlotte then, if that's the case. But I gotta worry about that later, actually. I gotta go to the Celestial Tower, and I gotta train this Joltic in place of Charlotte, and I already know what nickname I'm going to give this new Joltic. So I don't know why. And how do I go back to the rest of Mistralton City? I keep forgetting where that is. Oh yeah, it's right here. So I'm going to put away this Joltic for now, and I'll be giving her a new nickname later, but I'll worry about that later, especially since I already have another electric Pokemon in the party. So I'm going to worry about that later. And I said I'm going to worry about that later a billion times, but I'm actually going to put Cappuccino in the party because I want to use her to help catch the Pokemon. So I'm going to keep this new Joltik I have in the first box in my PC, and I'm not going to waste any more time. Instead, I'm going to head right back out to Route 7. And I think I have Monty first in the party, which is good because he's a pretty strong Pokemon. I think he can handle most of the Pokemon on Route 7 and most of the trainers on Route 7. And if a shaking patch of grass appears, I don't know if I'm really going to go for it because I'm really anxious to get into Celestial Tower. That's really what I want to do. And I think there's a ranger we have to battle. Yeah, there's a ranger we have to battle, of course. I think I already fought the ranger that's up ahead, just because I accidentally bumped into that person, but whatever, let's battle this ranger, and... Okay, Barry, what do you have? It's a Swadloon! Okay, maybe sending out Monty wasn't really the best idea. I don't think I have any flying-type Pokemon, though, so I'm gonna have to send in somebody else. Let's see who else I have in the party. Let's see, I have Thistle, I have Cogsworth, I have Minipete. Minipete's flying-type. I think he can handle Swadloon a lot better than Monty can. Yeah! One-hit KO! Hooray for one-shotting the Swadloon with acrobatics. That's what I think I like about acrobatics, is that it does a lot of damage when the Pokemon's not holding anything. But here's a Simipour. Now, Minipete is electric type, so I think I could actually keep battling. Yeah, I'm gonna keep battling. Yikes, that Scald did a lot of damage. I think Scald has 80 base power, so I think that's why. But yay, Minipete got to level 31 with the help of his boosted experience because he was traded. And here's a Tranquil. Well, I'm actually going to switch Pokemon because Minipete's speed was lowered by that Swadloon. So who else can I use? I guess I could use Cogsworth because Cogsworth is Steel type and he knows some electric attacks, so I think Cogsworth would be a good choice here, right? Oh, I just love Charge Beam. I really love Charge Beam. And that was perfect, because the Tranquil started off by using Detect, but Cogsworth was using Charge. And then it started to use Taunt, and I was going to have Cogsworth use an attack anyway, so that was just perfect. And yay, Asperberry. And I'm not going to go for that item just yet, just in case. Actually, I think I am going to go for that item. Yay, item. Ah! That was a Watchog. I think, who in here has a Smoke Ball? Somebody in here has a Smoke Ball. Maybe I was wrong. Did somebody in here have a Smoke Ball? Maybe not. Okay, I'm just gonna give the Smoke Ball to Cappuccino then, just because I think Cappuccino is gonna be the best at running away from Pokemon and all. Now I gotta give the Smoke Ball to Cappuccino and put her first in the party. Well, let's see what this item is, and that was another Watchog! Gee, these Watchogs are just ganging up on us, aren't they? Yay, PP up! Well, that's good. If we have a Pokemon who's low on PP, then And that was a Zebstrika! There are wild Zebstrika on this route. That is not good, but here is Celestial Tower, and it has really neat music. Listen to this music. Oh my gosh, isn't this awesome? Listen to this part here. This sounds familiar. Now, when I first heard this music, it really reminded me of this music from A Link to the Past, this Zelda game that came out for the SNES a long time ago, and it is probably my favorite Zelda game, actually. But the music that plays in the Light World dungeons in that game sounds very much like this music, so this music just reminded me of that. But yeah, enough blabbing about this music, and I should probably not have Cappuccino first in the party, even though wild Pokemon appear on this floor. But the wild Pokemon that appears here is actually a Pokemon I want to catch, so I'm actually going to put Monty first in the party, just because I don't know who else to put first in the party. And I should actually give a fresh water to Minipete or something, because he's getting low on HP. So do I have any healing items? Okay, I have a fresh water. Let's use a fresh water on Minipete. Yeah, I used my last fresh water, I don't care. Let's see what this trainer has. I think it's a Psychic. That looks like a Psychic, I think. Do I have any Pokemon with Dark attacks? I guess I don't. Well, then I'll put Thistle first in the party, and hope that we don't run into any wild Pokemon before we encounter the Psychic. Okay, I guess there's a Psychic we have to battle. Let's battle the Psychic. Let's see what the Psychic has. I'm not coming up with anything interesting to say. Doreen! That rhymes with Little D. Okay, so this Pokemon right here is LGM, and this is one of the new Pokemon that can be found in Celestial Tower, so I'm hoping I can catch one soon. So this is a space alien! Oh my gosh, it's a space alien! And it's Psychic type. So LGM is kind of slow, so I could use Gyro Ball on it, but I doubt it's going to work very well. And I can also use Pin Missile, though. Let's see what Pin Missile, how much damage Pin Missile does. Okay, so then LGM's using Simple Beam. Before, Thistle had the Iron Barb's ability, so now his ability is Simple. But that's actually pretty good, because now when Thistle uses Curse, then our attack and defense will actually rise even more, so maybe I gotta use Curse next. And apparently LGM was already faster than Thistle, so this will just make Thistle even slower than that LGM, so that'll lower her speed by a lot, which actually works in her favor. And her attack and defense are going to rise sharply because she has a Simple ability. That's what the Simple ability does, it doubles any stat changes that the user has. So now she can use Gyro Ball and do a heck of a lot more damage than she used to. So now LGM's using Imprison, but I doubt we have any moves that LGM has, so that's not really going to matter. And yay, that LGM fainted. Good, because I don't think LGM have the best defense. It has really awesome special attack, though. And there's a Sigilith. Well, I'm going to keep battling, just because I think Thistle already has high defense and everything. Even though I think that Sigilith uses primarily special attacks, but I'm going to use Gyro Ball anyway, especially since Sigilith is really fast. But it's using Widescreen? Why is it using Widescreen? It should be using Reflect, because Thistle only knows physical attacks. What a dumb Sigilith. And now look, okay, I guess we're almost going to one-hit KO it. I guess we didn't. Okay. Okay, now it's using Psybeam. I guess that's better. But it's still not going to be very effective. Heck, a Flying attack would have done neutral damage, because Thistle is at least Grass type. But yeah, we defeated the Sigilith. Yay. Alright, Thistle. There's a Solosis. Let's keep battling, just because we're on a roll here with the curse and everything. Go, Thistle, go! Psyshock, yeah, that's gonna act on Thistle's physical defense, which is already really high, so yeah! What smart Pokemon these Psychics have, and that's Solosis one-shotted, that was interesting. And yay, Thistle got the level 31, is anything special gonna happen? I guess not, but yay, we defeated the Psychic. And I gotta give Thistle a break after this. And I should probably be stopping the video soon, actually, but I want to encounter this Pokemon before we actually stop the video, so that's what I hopefully am going to do, and this Psychic is totally in the way, so I can't access that item. And hey, here's a Pokemon, and this is definitely going to be the Pokemon that I want. So this Pokemon here is Litwick, and it's a female Litwick. That means I get to nickname it the exact same thing that I nicknamed her on the previous playthrough, unless I want to give her a different nickname or something. But I'm going to worry about that later. I don't think actually Monty's the best Pokemon to use for this, because Litwick is Ghost type, and also Fire type. So if Monty tries to use a ground or a rock attack, then that might accidentally KO the Litwick. So I don't want that to happen. Instead, I'm going to use... Oh, what am I going to use? I don't know, I'm going to switch to Minipete. Because at least Minipete's attack will not... Okay, that Litwick knows Will-O-Wisp, so we really gotta beware here, and I'm not going to use Shockwave, I'm going to use Electro Ball and see what that does. I don't know how much faster Minipete is than that Litwick, but Litwick isn't entirely the— What?! Why did— I did not want to KO the Litwick! I wanted to catch that Litwick! Okay, maybe Electro Ball was not the best attack to use on it. That or that Litwick had really low special defense. I want to encounter another Litwick. Let's try this again. Well, the good thing is the only Pokemon that can appear in this area are Litwick, and here's a male Litwick, so I guess... Well, let's hope Minipete doesn't one-hit KO this one. I'm gonna try using Shockwave rather than Electro Ball, because apparently Electro Ball did more damage. So let's see what this does. Okay, good, that did not KO the Litwick. So this time I'm gonna switch out to somebody. I guess I could just switch out to Cappuccino and have her use Sing, and then capture the Litwick that way. But this time I'm stuck with the male Litwick, but I guess that's fine. Especially since I have a really cool name for a male Litwick. So let's use Sing, provided it'll hit. Yeah, that... Nightshade doesn't affect Cappuccino. Of course it doesn't. Come on, Cappuccino. Yay! That Litwick is asleep. Let's catch it now. Now, I did buy a bunch of Great Balls off screen, so we have plenty of Great Balls available to capture this Litwick. So let's use one. I'm sorry if the commentary is not really sounding the best. I guess there was just a lot of stuff to take care of in this video, and I tried to fit as much into it as possible. So far we're not getting a critical capture, which is really unfortunate. I can't wait to actually get a critical capture on one of these Pokemon, but whatever, we call it Litwick, and I know exactly what to name it. And this is my first time actually having a male Litwick, and again, this Pokédex entry is not going to matter, and I've already said that a bazillion times, but I gotta nickname this Litwick after not a character from Harry Potter, but some sort of concept from Harry Potter, sort of. It's not really a spell, per se, but it's a substance. It's this substance called Fiendfire. That's what I named him. Fiendfire is this really vicious magical fire thing, but I don't have time for anything else. I caught a Litwick, so that's all I wanted to do, so I'll see you later on part 42 of Let's Play Pokemon White.